Tim Collins with Cullman today. I'm at the Cullman Elks Lodge. I'm with the chairman of the Cullman County Republican Party, WAID HARBISON. WAID, a big meeting today. About 100 folks came out to see the candidates and attend your breakfast. Tell me about it.
That's right. This is probably the biggest meeting, I think, Tim, that we've had since I've been the chairman. And I'm not really surprised because we have so many candidates that have just recently qualified. Of course, the qualifying ended yesterday, so all of the madness and everything kind of calmed down yesterday at 5 o'clock. But a lot of these folks brought their families here today, obviously, to kind of get up in front of the whole party and make an announcement. So big breakfast, a lot of folks here. A lot of new people, I think, is always good to get into the party, and a lot of these guys, I think, will be hitting the campaign trail pretty soon. So,
well, when you say madness, it has been the last week. I believe that you were the busiest, most stressed person in Cullman County because you had so many people to qualify and talk to, and in and out. It was political intrigue at its best, really, wasn't it?
It is, and I think there was quite a few surprises, and I think people are hearing about some of those, today and yesterday as people have kind of come in. But I'll say, I think our slate of candidates is very good. We've got great things, and to me, as the chairman of the Republican Party, and as chairman, I'm not going to get involved in any races or getting behind anybody in the executive committee of the Republican Party. We don't endorse or support one candidate, but we do encourage all of our individual members to go out and work for somebody. But I think as a whole, we've got a great amount of candidates in here. There's a lot of good people, and to me, Tim, I think competition is good. I think it makes everybody get out and have to work a little bit and explain their case to the people. So even though we've got some fantastic incumbents that we're really happy with right now, I think there are some good guys that are getting in as well that'll be able to kind of say why they want to run for office and what they're doing.
Makes sense. Well, let's get specific. Let's start with the school board races and work up. Hansville,
Sure.
Kenny Brockman.
That's right.
I thought he was going to run, get some opposition at the end.
Sure.
It didn't happen.
He didn't have any opposition, and actually, Tim, with school board races, we did have two. Actually, there's 4 seats that are up for election this time, and 2 of them have opposition, 2 of them don't. And like you said, Kenny Brockman over in Hansville is not going to have opposition. And then also, we have in the Vinemont School District, you have Mike Graves will be running unopposed. And then the 2 races we do have opposition in are Good Hope. We have Jason Spiegels, our incumbent, running again, and Carrie Neighbors. And then in Fairview, we do not have an incumbent. Chris Carter is not seeking re-election. So we've got 3 guys that are going to be seeking that seat. We have Shane Rusk, Bill Wallou, who's with us this morning and spoke, and then Michael Knopp from the Fairview School Board District.
Well, and these school board races, I don't think people give them enough weight.
They don't, and they're huge because we've talked about this a lot, Tim, in the past. But the school board makes huge decisions for the county. They're over one of the biggest budgets in the county. You talk about just the sheer number of money they're dealing with is massive, and they've got to manage resources very well and everything like that. And I'm glad that we have 7 Republicans on that board right now because we need fiscally conservative, good Republicans in those offices. So,
yeah. Well, let's move to the Cullman County Courthouse.
Yes.
We had at least one surprise. But let's not start with that. Lisa McSwain, our circuit court clerk, unopposed.
That's right. Lisa was unopposed at the courthouse, and then Judge Greg Nicholas, he's one of our circuit judges, is unopposed, and Judge Rusty Turner is going to be unopposed as well for district judge. And Kim Chaney is not running for re-election this time. He was just elected 2 years ago, so he's off. And the other judge in the courthouse is Martha Williams. She's the other circuit judge, place number 2, and she'll be running against Melvin Hasting, so she does have opposition there. And Tammy Brown is also probate judge, of course, for Cullman County, and she will have some opposition as well. Carol Berry will be running against her for probate judge.
Well, I expected Melvin to run.
Sure.
But Carol Berry, in my world, which I get to know all these things,
right?
She came out of nowhere.
Sure.
Who knew?
I think it was a little bit of a surprise, and I think maybe she'd been thinking about it and just kind of decided at the last minute. But she did come meet with me on Friday, and I think she's all ready to go and hit the campaign trail, talk to her and everything. So, and again, I think we got a lot of great incumbents, but I think a lot of these guys that are challengers are just as good too. So I think the competition will be good too.
It will be. Let's talk about county races.
Sure.
Mainly law enforcement and coroner. Sheriff Matt Gentry.
Yep, Sheriff Matt Gentry is going to be running unopposed. That's not really surprising. I think he's done a fantastic job, and I can say that because he doesn't have opposition, but he has done a great job. I think in Cullman County, we're very proud of the job he's done as sheriff and representing the people very well. We're glad he's a Republican and he'll run unopposed. And also, Jeremy Kilpatrick is going to be running for coroner again, and he's going to be running unopposed. And I personally have known Jeremy for about 4 or 5 years, and I think he does a fantastic job behind the scenes. A lot of people don't realize everything he does, does, but he sacrifices a lot of his time. He's on call 24/7. It's the lowest paying job in the county. It really doesn't even pay. You could get a part-time job somewhere, working a couple hours a week, making some more money than that. So he's dedicated to the position, helping people that have had loss or are going through that situation. So proud he's running again and unopposed.
Now, he in the general election, he does have opposition. His longtime former coroner Gary Murphree is going to run on the Democratic ticket.
Absolutely. And I'll say, in the general election, the Cullman County Republican Party will 100% get behind any Republican that has Democratic opposition or independent or anybody else running, against a Republican. So we will heavily be involved in the general election race. We'll be out campaigning for Jeremy, sending his message again, talking about the things that he's done, and the party will put money, time, and effort, and a lot of it behind our Republican candidates in the general election.
Makes sense. Well, let's move to the state level, representative and Senate.
Yes.
Randall Shedd.
Yes, Randall Shedd is running unopposed for House District 12. Of course, there's 3 House districts that kind of are represented in Cullman County. House District 11 is the big one, of course, that Randall's in with unopposed. And House District 9, that is where Ed Henry's current seat is. There's a little bit of Cullman County in his district there, some of the northern parts of Cullman County. And so we have 3 folks that are running for that right now. Scott Stodhagen was with us this morning. He's from Hartselle. We have James Bowling running for that position as well. And then we have Steve Morrow is also running for that position. So 3 folks, and they're actually from Morgan County but have been involved here with the local county party. So I think any of 3 of those guys would be great.
And the winner there will take on a Democrat. It's
That's right.
Newly elected Senator Doug Jones's family sister.
Right,
yeah.
Absolutely. So again, the Cullman County Republican Party will be in full support of whoever the Republican candidate for that office is in the fall. So
now our final 2 races. It's kind of like a boxing match. These are the 2 top championship bouts coming up here.
That's right.
District number 12,
That's
Troy
right.
Harbison.
Yes.
Alex Cheney. Let's talk about that.
That's correct. That is going to be 2 big races right there. And I think with House District 12, you've got Alex Cheney, of course, is challenging Corey Harbison, who's been an incumbent. And I think Corey's done a great job for the party and representing us, and we appreciate his service. But, I think Alex is ready to kind of step in and just offer his services. And, I think in another similar race, the big surprise really is Garlan Gudger running against Senator Paul Bussman for Senate District 4. And I think Garlan and Alex, both challenging incumbents, I think they both respect, the jobs that their current person is in right now, and they're just kind of running because they think they have something to offer, they want to make a difference, and they want to get out there. So those will be 2 interesting races to watch. But really, to me, Alex and Corey are both great candidates, and so are Garland and Paul Bussman. And so I think we've got fantastic candidates for some of those bigger races, and again, I think that's going to be good for the party to get out and see how those play out.
Well, now in these contested races,
yes.
You're the chairman of the Republican Party.
Right.
What advice do you have for people who want to get involved? I assume do your homework is
Sure.
probably the biggest advice.
Well,
right?
Here's my advice to people is, I give 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, find a candidate you like and work for them. And that's my kind of duty as the chairman of the Republican Party, is to facilitate that and not get involved in any particular campaign. Try to direct people somewhere where if they want to work for somebody, they really like somebody, that they can get involved, they can get behind people. So all 100 of these people that were here at the breakfast, I hope they get involved in campaigns. They get behind people that they support, because if you really want to make a difference, you need to get behind those people, whether it's working, calling, donating money, time, whatever it is that you can do to help these candidates out. They're all going to need help. So if you really believe in one of these guys, get involved in their campaigns. But the other thing to me, Tim, is facilitating kind of for the Republican Party. Again, I'm not going to get involved with these guys, but at these Republican breakfast meetings, we have them all come up and speak, and we're going to be featuring different offices. We've got a couple months until the primary comes up, so we'll be featuring these guys at each one of our breakfasts and having some question and answer sessions with them. We're going to be doing some town hall meetings that are going to bring these guys out and ask them some questions and kind of highlight differences and that sort of thing. So the Republican Party will be out and very active doing things in the primary campaign, so people can meet these guys, hear the differences and what they're planning to do in their respective jobs.
Well, let's talk about one final thing, which is these breakfasts that
Right.
you hold once a month
at
the Elks Lodge.
That's right.
I've been coming as a reporter for
Absolutely.
almost 2.5, 3 years now.
Right.
And what I have learned by observing this is if you're interested in what's happening in Cullman County, and you want to be active in that, this is the place to come.
It is the place to come, and all of our elected officials are here. And I think that, number one, that's important, because if you have a problem, a concern, or something, these guys are available, and they're here to talk, and they love to talk and hear feedback about something. They're happy to take on questions, or happy to listen to any input or feedback that you may have about something. This is a place we have every single one of our elected Republican officials, which is everybody in the county, is here at these breakfast meetings. So, this is a great place to come and meet with these guys. guys, talk to them, figure out what's going on, and then hear other candidates as we bring people in and kind of make your decision. And I think it's all about being an informed voter. And so people a lot of times don't know, how can I be an informed voter? But these breakfast meetings really are just very, very informational. We've got a lot of great candidates. Today we did have all the local candidates come, but we also had a candidate for state attorney general and a couple of other statewide offices, and we're going to be having candidates for governor here. We'll be having candidates for lieutenant governor. So, I mean, big races, and you can come out and really learn about these candidates and who you want to vote for.
Plus, the food's great.
Food is great. That's always a plus.
And, for instance, just to give you an example, not to pick out a candidate,
right.
Today you could have got moon pies with Gary Marchman's campaign on there.
That's right.
And that's one race we forgot to talk about, the county commission.
That's right. There's two, of course, associate commissioners that are running for office, and one of them, Terrie Watson, he's over in the East District for the associate commissioner's race. He'll be running unopposed. And then on the west side, Gary Marchman has some opposition from Andy Coffey, who's a former, I think, county employee and worked in the street department for a while for the county.
And I am going to say this, and I did some research. Terrie Watson is the first county commissioner to run unopposed in modern Cullman County history.
I can't remember.
That's shocking, isn't it?
I think it is shocking, and I've said this for a long time, Tim. And we're in election season, an election cycle right now, so I cannot endorse any candidates over others, and I'm not going to say we're going to endorse the incumbents because we can't get involved in the primary process. We're going to let the people decide that and not try to push it from a party standpoint. But I'm the biggest cheerleader for all of our Republican officials that are elected and out there, and I go around saying all the time how great of a job they do, how fortunate we are to have conservative, good Republican officials. And I think some of these races where we didn't have opposition in them, I think people who might have thought about running and qualifying are just saying these guys are doing such a great job. I don't know what else I could add or do differently. So you have some folks like Lisa McSwain and of course Matt Gentry and Kerry Watson, just some of those guys that have done a really fantastic job, and I think that people will recognize that. So
I totally agree with you. So Wade, qualifying's over.
That's
the
right.
breakfast is over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to take a day off, or is it onto the campaign trail?
Well, it's onto the campaign trail a little bit. And of course, to me, I have still got. We also will be running with the Cullman County Republican Party Executive Committee members. Will all be running on the ballot for the June primary. So I've got to work on kind of sorting all of those out into different districts and getting with the, of course, probate judge's office and making sure we get everything covered with the ballot next week. We're going to have some interviews with candidates next week that have been recently qualified, just to talk about their background and have the local Republican Party kind of just know their background and who they are before they start hitting the campaign trail. And then, Tim, we're going to be, like I said, planning some breakfast with these guys coming in. We're going to be planning some different town halls across the county that the Republican Party will put on, some different radio interviews, newspaper articles, you name it. We're going to be involved throughout the whole primary
That was
process.
A very long way of saying no vacation, no break for you.
That's right. I'm going to go home and take a quick nap. Then I'm going to work on that this afternoon.
Right on. Wayne, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you, Tim.